bad things to happen. But I think that all these advisors or friends are massively oversimplifying God.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You got it. I mean, I truly, when you try to speak from God's perspective, it's like, I mean, that just humbled me, and I think, what are we going to...
Where were you when I made the stars? Where were you when I
That's what God says later on. So yeah. Well, I'll just say this: a man whose trust is in material possessions may prosper, but will quickly perish and leave no mark of achievement. Once again, without an ounce of sympathy in his voice, Bildad told Job that God will not reject a man of integrity. And so Job, if you are rejected, obviously you are, you don't have integrity. That's what he's done with you, Job. Nor will he support the evildoers, who may at first seem to thrive, just like you did, Job, because before you were pretty rich. You were doing okay. And you know what? God finally saw through it, and he took care of you, Job. Yikes.
That sounds like a marriage counselor who's been divorced 4 times.
There you go. Bildad, in essence, told Job, you had it all. Now you have nothing. I'm so glad Jim's here. You know, this is the problem. Now you have nothing. If that's not, it's like me becoming a golf teacher. You know, well, here's what you do. You just remember this.
I got a joke for you about that.
Okay, so maybe later.
Yeah, later.
I don't have Carolyn here to go.
Yeah. No neutralizer. Yeah.
So anyway, now you have nothing, and if that's not a sign that your faith was shallow and superficial, I don't know what is. If only Job's friends had heard God's estimation of Job recorded in Job 1:8. Remember what it was?
That's right.
What did God say about Job? He's a righteous man, and nothing lacking in this guy. Yeah, he hates evil. I mean, here's these guys. Had they actually known the mind of God, they would never have said this. Oh my gosh, they'd have never
showed up.
Yeah, and so anyway, they might have kept their judgmental swords in their sheaths. That's the way that was good. Back to the text. All right, let's go on. Yes.
Just one quick comment from my
From the
script here.
female perspective.
It says, God will not cast away a perfect man, true. God will not dispose of a perfect man. But he obviously allows bad things to happen, e.g. Abel, Joseph, David, Daniel, Jesus, and Paul. And I think that another person who comes to mind is Corrie ten Boom.
Oh, yeah.
More recently, but that these people are examples for us to learn from, and if we didn't have them, there would be a part of our relationship with God that would be, I think, a little lessened by that, because we wouldn't see that these other people lived and that they were examples and they loved the Lord regardless of all of the hardships that they went through.
Absolutely. He will yet fill your mouth with laughter and your lips with shouting. That is, if you confess, those who hate you will be clothed with shame, and the tent of the wicked will be no more. So if you're prosperous, then God, that obviously shows God's support. And if God is supporting that, then obviously then you have integrity. This is a very weak idea. Don't ever think this. When you're looking at somebody who's prosperous, whether they're in the business world or in the church, don't think it's because they're right. It's the right thing. It's not the case. Yeah, no.
I think they're also coming from the completely wrong premise that a man can be perfect.
Okay.
And that is totally wrong.
Right.
A man cannot be perfect.
No, and yeah, that's true. They're saying, hey, listen, if you just do this thing right, then God will then obviously bless you. And we don't know about our hidden sins. We don't know, all of our righteous deeds are what? Filthy rags before God. And so you can't be perfect without God. That's
back
great.
to the grading principle again. Grading on a curve or whatever.
Okay. Bildad told Job that the outcome of his current sufferings and trials will either vindicate him and shame his distractors, or prove that Job was not as innocent as he claimed to be. So here, it's true that Job later on is blessed, but Bildad can't go back and say, see, I told you so, because Bildad's perspective is see, all you had to do is confess, and then everything is just right, and you must have confessed. I'm glad you did it. And Job is saying, well, I didn't really confess. God just did it. For Bildad, Job's exoneration was to be measured by his material success. Bildad, at this point, seems to argue Satan's point. And I thought this was very interesting, that man sees God and lives a virtuous life only because of self-interest. Is that the reason? That's what Satan was saying up in heaven. He was saying, well, of course Job worships you. You blessed him at everything he does. You put a hedge of protection around him. That's why he worships you. So Bildad is really, without knowing it, he's giving Satan's argument to Job himself.
Talking through him.
And so maybe his name really is true, son of contention. Maybe that's really accurate. Go ahead.
Here in my little thing, it says that where he says they that hate thee shall be clothed with shame. It says here that in the end, Job's friends were clothed with shame.
Yes.
Because of the words that he spoke.
So Bildad did speak truth.
Was judged.
Yes, that's a bummer when you're judged by your own words. Gracious. All right, Stephen Lawson offers the following suggestions on how to be a friend to the hurting. So we're kind of finished with chapter 8, which is Bildad coming at, and now 9 and 10 are Job's response to Bildad. But let's just once again talk about what are things we should keep in mind when we're trying to help a wounded friend, to try to help a friend who is in pain, or a friend who is in need, or a friend who's sick. Here's the advice. First off, just sometimes it's just being quiet and putting a hand on a shoulder. Here's what he said. He said, first, be there for them. Job's friends stood before him. They stood before him, but they didn't stand with him. And that's a great difference. And that's why one of the things I hope we get the opportunity to do this here in Barnabas group, that we have these relationships with each other where we can come alongside and stand with people. Should be an objective. Second, sometimes we use platitudes and proverbs and maybe even Bible verses as, and of course we all know that this is not in the Bible, right? But we use proverbs and platitudes and Bible verses. Think of some that we use them as band-aids.
God works in mysterious ways.
There you go. Second, feel their pain and hurt. Job's friends did not bear his burden. Instead, they sat across the room and criticized. It takes no size to criticize, writes Lawson. In the words of T. Miles Bennett, they tried to patch grief with proverbs. What are some of the worst proverbs you can use to comfort somebody? How about in your life? Unless those people were here that offered that, but don't say that, that'll embarrass them.
How about God knows?
God knows. There we go. Maybe we should just kind of erase that from our vocabulary, our list of things to say to somebody who's hurting.
So, they're in a better place now.
Okay, that is, they are, that's true, but boy, is that I coined the word in People of the Word of an elethizosophy, and which is, and we could say that, to use a truth like that, the truth was, again,
They're in a better place.
They're in a better place. That's true. Well, hopefully. That's true.
Hopefully.
But we'll call it, that's to, we'll say that is to Bildadifies truth. All right? Got that? That's another coined word. I'll trademark it. To Bildadifies truth means you're using truth but in an inappropriate way. Yeah. Yes. Truths, things that people have said maybe to comfort you that just didn't work. Go. Let go and let God. Yeah, that's a rough one. Erase that one, all right? Take that one off your list of things to use.
The one you just said.
What? I said one?
They're in a better place, hopefully.
That's even worse than his. That's even worse.